Hi guys, Josh here, welcome to Frames Per Second. Today we're doing a portrait shoot with Ash.
Hi.
And Zoe's here with makeup again.
Hi.
And we're gonna have some fun. It's summer in Australia, so we're doing something kind of cute and summery. We're gonna shoot some Ektar, which we're not usually meant to use for portraits, but color's really popping it, so I'm gonna give it a go.
See, there's always a positive, right?
We don't usually use Ektar for portraits just because it's not the best film for skin tone, and this model's skin color isn't as red as other Caucasian people, so I feel like it will actually turn out quite well for this one. Also shot some Fuji Pro 160 NS on medium format, mostly because I used my roll of medium format Ektar in another episode. Now I like this first shot quite a bit. It's just nicely exposed, bokeh looks great, great color, and really shows what Ektar can do. Unfortunately, the next shot's a bit underexposed. I think if it was just a bit more exposed, it would be really nice. Though I think the composition could be a bit better anyway. With Ektar is that it usually is a bit more magenta. Sometimes it can be a bit cooler in color, and a lot of time it brings out the reds in people's skin. This shot's decently exposed, but I just feel like the hat just takes a bit away from her face. Now this shot's really nice, it's really nicely exposed, and it also is a bit glowy in the highlights, which is something I noticed a bit later, and we're going to talk about it soon. Put your head back a little bit more, and give us a bit of a smile.
Camera?
So this one's just an awkward angle and composition. We've got down a bit more, just so we can get more of a face, it's not too easily hidden by the hat, and just so that the background would have a bit more depth in it and not be so flat. This shot's just a touch underexposed, so you can see from the shirt that the highlights are really getting glowy when overexposed. This shot's solid. Maybe if it's a bit closer, a bit wider, I would like it a bit more. This shot and the next one I really like, but it does show you how kind of glowy the highlights get when they're overexposed. And though I did like it for the look of these ones, it's something I never really noticed with Ektar with other rolls I've shot with it. And I don't really know why it happened with this one.
No, it's gonna be a pain.
Yeah. This one's another nice shot, but it also is like a bit glowy in the highlights, but I kind of like it, and I might play with Ektar a bit more to get that effect. This shot I just would have framed a bit lower, and I think it is a little bit soft. This one I would have framed a bit more to the left, maybe gone a bit wider, and yeah, it's showing the kind of glow you get from overexposing Ektar. So I forgot to put the battery in my medium format camera, so the first shot ended up being way overexposed because the shutter was left open, but we did fix that. And this next shot, I just think I could have framed it a little bit more different, maybe gone a little bit more to the left, or even just angled it a bit differently. But yeah, we get to have some fun with the flowers and really art design this kind of shot. And I do love this shot quite a bit. And then we're going to throw it to the edited, which there's not that much of a difference. Different in exposure, and like the color's a bit more normalized, but Ash's skin was great, so there wasn't a lot of retouching to do there, and the colors were just nice, so it didn't have to tweak it too much. This shot's a bit soft, and yeah, this is using Fuji Pro 160 NS, which I think it actually is a bit similar with Ektar. Looking at these shots, of course, that can be from the scans. You never really know unless you scan yourself. This Ektar turned out nice. It really brought a bit more color to Ash's skin tones, and though she was tanner than she usually is, I think it works better with people with pale skin because it does bring a bit more out, as long as you don't have a lot of red tones in your skin. Now this shot I like quite a bit. We're going to throw the edit, which obviously I crop in a bit more just to make it a bit more even, but I do like that shot quite a bit. It's just a nice mood style. And here I play with some foreground, which is something I don't do enough, so this shoot I kind of tried to do it a bit more as well. And this shot, though it's a little bit underexposed, I actually quite like it. You're not losing a lot of detail in the shadows, which you can with Ektar. But yeah, I think it turned out quite well. This shot, I just feel like the angle of her chin is a bit weird. Not her fault, I think it's mine. I should have got her just to tilt her head down a little bit more, because I think I told her to tilt it up, but I think she might have gone too far up. But yeah, that's on me, not on her. This shot's just alright. I think maybe I could have just taken a different angle with it. But yeah, you do see how punchy the Ektar colors are compared to Portra. In this next shot, I think I could have just angled it a little bit differently. I did want her hand in the shot, but I think I just sort of stepped back a little bit more. But yeah, it's still a solid shot. I think I just need to crop it a bit and just fix up because it's a little bit tilted. This shot's just kind of cute. Splashes of color from the flowers, so I think this location worked really well, which I kind of found by mistake. I think we really utilized it really well for this shoot. This shot's quite a bit underexposed. You can see how much more saturated Ektar looks when it is underexposed, but yeah, I wish I did overexpose at least by one more stop. Just would have been a bit nicer, especially on her face. And then with the 160 NS, it's a little bit cooler in color than the Ektar, and you're not losing as much detail in the shadows either, so I did like the 160 NS for the shoot. It's really nice exposed, love the color. It's not as saturated as Ektar, but there are some similarities, and it still does have some nice like kind of punch to it compared to say Portra. This shot I'm gonna crop a bit. It is just I think I could have just gone a little bit closer, especially used the manhole cover. This shot's just nice. Nice simple shot. Sometimes you just need some of those. And this shot's underexposed. You can really tell from the saturation, and the greens do come through a bit more, and so do the reds. You really need a meter for the skin of your model with Ektar, just because the shadows aren't as forgiving and you don't get as much detail as say with Portra that you can kind of recover. This is one of the few times where wind kind of did ruin the shot a little bit, though I do still like the photo. Just think it would be nice with that, the hair in her face. And here's me playing with some foreground again, which like I said, I don't do enough, and so I am going to try to incorporate that in my shoots a bit more. And obviously you can see we have Ash more in the shade, just to be a bit nicer on her skin. And yeah, I think you're able to get quite a bit out of it. And though I did warm it up a little bit and take a bit of the red out of it, made it a bit yellower, and there's a lot of play with it. Like these colors are good. She's maybe a bit more red in the skins because of the picnic blanket. So if you had a different color one, it wouldn't be as red, but her skin's just the right tone that it doesn't go the bad kind of red that you get with Ektar sometimes. Once again, nice simple shot. You can see the cooler color of the Ektar coming through. And here's me just playing with some posing, making it a bit more playful. And this shoot was a lot more playful than some of my other shoots, which are a bit more edgy at times and moody, but this was kind of just a fun little summer kind of vintage kind of vibe, and I liked it quite a bit. For some reason, more towards the middle of the day, the Ektar did get more of a cool color, and that could have just been the scans as well. I didn't scan these, but it could just be the way that they were scanned. This shot's kind of like a nice playful shot. I like the lens flare, and I like that shot quite a bit. And so here we are, finishing the 160 NS. And this was a lot cooler than I was expecting, especially with other rolls I've shot of it. But it's very cool when in this harsh sunlight. And I think that it probably has more to do with the scans, or maybe the scans with the other shots I got the other time. But for some reason this was a lot cooler than I was expecting. It's okay, like I can definitely change that to be a bit warmer, more pleasant with skin tones, but this shot I was able to get nice stuff out of, and it wasn't as blue as the other ones. But yeah, that's a bit of an example of what you can do with Ektar with portrait shoots, and I think it's a good film for portraits as long as you know your subject's skin, because yeah, it really is only great for specific skin tones. I hope you like this episode and the photos with Ash. Please comment below which ones are your favorite. Like, subscribe, and keep checking out my episodes. And if you want more photo shoot ones, let me know. It's Josh. It's been frames per second. Just get out there, shoot some film.